You're welcome to the arena right here on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. Gisera is my name. Welcome to the show this morning. We'll be looking this morning at the president. A couple of hours ago, the president announced the creation of Livestock Ministry, and we saw a lot of backlash on that particular move by the president. It's the latest attempt by the Nigerian government to address the decades-long conflict between herders and farmers over access to land, pasture and water. There's been a lot going on. We always have this back and forth with the farmers and herders. The president announced the creation of the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development in a move expected to end the perennial clashes between pastoralists and farmers. Tinubu approved the creation of the ministry on Tuesday when he inaugurated the Presidential Committee on Livestock Reforms at the Council Chamber of the State House in Abuja. Meanwhile, when the president came on board as the president of Nigeria, we saw the creation of 10 new ministries. We saw the creation of 10 new ministries. Marine and Blue Economy, it's one of the new ministries created by the president, with Bumi Tunjiojo as the minister. The Marine and Blue Economy involves the economic activities associated with the oceans and the seas. Tourism is one of the biggest economic activities in the world today, and it involved the pursuit of recreation, relaxation, and pleasure while making use of the commercial provisions of the services. There's the arts, culture, and the creative economy ministry as well. There's gas resources, there's steel development, there's finance and coordinating economy, health and social welfare, aviation and aerospace development, youth development, which didn't used to stand on its own. It used to be under sports, and now we have it standing on its own. There's the humanitarian affairs and poverty alleviation as well. So we saw the president move to create 10 new ministries, or rejig some of them, as the case as it were. What we're seeing right now is an additional ministry that some have argued is supposed to be under the agricultural ministry. Let's hear from Mr. Larry his thoughts on this. Good morning, Mr. Larry, and welcome to the show. We're doing good. How are you doing? All right, let's look at this new ministry. What exactly is what do you think about it?
Create a ministry to solve every problem. Running the ministry. What difference will it make that a ministry is actually driving this process? Must a ministry drive the process? And what benefits have we enjoyed? Is there any programs on all of them? Forget that he just
You have added 10 back.
Yes, he added 15, not 10. So I think that's the syndrome that this isn't much difference in the two, except that the present, it's like we're improving in the wrong direction.
So the president Tinubu is Buhari Pro Max.
Well, if you said so, version of Buhari, unfortunately. But then, Umar Musa Yar'Adua was PDP, so he couldn't have said that. Maybe by now would have implemented. Unfortunately, he chose to continue from where Buhari. I don't know. And I also think that increasing the cost of governance is one of our biggest problems. So you're saying you are employing or recruiting more ministers, but you don't have money to pay regular workers who do the actual work. So there is a lot of difficulty in actually even understanding how the minds of our leaders work. It's very difficult, and the leaders, and they are so early. So what you talk about going to the market and you want to buy food, but they don't buy anything with their money. They have chefs paid by government that have not yet delivered, but they don't ever go out. So for the past, imagine a man who for the past 15 years government has been paying his or her suffering in their land. So when you are not explaining that we have to do better, the person will wonder what's wrong with you. What is really wrong with you? I mean, is there any problem? Because to that person, there's no problem. There's power 24 hours. They have to finishing the journey for them. Then the short distance they will drive on road, they have super SUVs with compressed cabins. So they don't even know what's happening outside. So how do they know that you have problems? How?
Mr. Larry, at this point in time, right, some people are arguing about the justification for this new ministry. If the goal is to settle the farmers' headers clashes, we're still seeing Mietiala Macban calling for governors to settle them. This is what he said: settle the headers with grazing reserves, right? We know that we had about 415 grazing reserves in 21 states of the Federation and all that. We don't even know how that is even going to work at this point in time, right? Seeing development, growth, and expansion of civilization and all that in different states. But the point is, we have a ministry whose goal is to settle that crisis, right? It seems tantamount to telling the world that looting has now become a part of our national life, right? At a point where we are supposed to be reducing the cost of governance, you are adding to it. You're going to still see situations where pension people that are supposed to be paid are going to be owed salaries. People who toiled hard for jobs like working in the ministry and all that are going to be owed salaries, owed their pensions, and we're still looking at funds that are going to enter some people's personal pockets. So what exactly is the justification for this new ministry?
I can't justify it. I think only Mr. President can answer this particular question you asked me now, because I can't find the justification myself. But I can only guess, and I don't want to guess. I don't like guesses because it beats my own imagination personally. Some people think, you can always come up with reasons. Like I said, some people may say, oh, it's a high-powered the affair now that we have a minister that reports to the president, that has access, that blah, blah, blah. But the Minister of Agriculture has access and reports to the president and was in charge of that particular issue before now. Oh, that there'll be focus. Well, the focus doesn't necessarily mean that you get a solution. If you focus in the wrong direction, you won't get any solution. And you see, the issue of the mindset of create grazing reserves everywhere doesn't make sense. It's like a motor seller saying, settle us, give us shops. They say, if you want a shop, you go and rent a shop or build one. You know why somehow, as a nation, some people choose to believe that animal husbandry is in a special class. So it's one business that, for instance, if you're rearing an animal, you have license to go and destroy a farmer's crops. So, and that's one of the foundations of nationhood. When people in Nigeria, that will make sense to all of us. But the situation where you are saying settle, are we owing you, settle you with your business, but you shouldn't carry it from place to place at the expense of other persons. You chose your business model. We're not complaining about your model. We are just saying that your right to swing your hand stops where my nose begins. If you don't control your hand that it hits my nose, it's called assault. So you can take your cattle anywhere without tribal or religious sentiment. We are just focusing on the law. And we begin to make progress as a nation.
All right.
But when everything is followed, then
DAs, right? This action was a baby step, albeit good, for proponents of a complete overhaul of the government structure, even though we're not really seeing that, because it's contrary to what is happening at the moment. The creation of a new ministry of livestock development, which could have just been under agriculture, because it is under agriculture to the layman. I mean, if there's another part of agriculture that isn't livestock, food, crop, livestock and fish, right? I don't know what other thing is under agriculture, but you have the opportunity to let me know what you think about it. 0808 312 of this
country, are they too far from something that they don't listen to? Do they listen to radio at all? Do they listen to television? How today? I mean, are they that far from us? Yeah. Right. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is too much. This is too much. This is too much. That is, if I tell you that Nigerians have been pushed to the wall, it's an understatement. If the wall has fell down, there's no, in fact,
You know, apart from some of the actions that the president is taking to ensure that there's a growth, there's work